Hello guys, thank you so much. Excited to be here. This is Sunday as above, so below. My name is Chief Apostle Ealy Jr. I'm the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. Those are the Afro-conditional sciences that we utilize to harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. To each and every one of you guys, thank you so much for being a part of this live. Excited to be actually able to talk with Juju from the block. We're gonna be chiming in once he, because he has to go live on his page, and then he'll come over here, and then we are going to talk to many of you guys. Now on this particular platform, regardless of what, we're here to teach universal laws. We're here to talk about specifically the practices with how we interact, energy, frequency, and vibration, and this particular platform. I'm excited because I think that it's an opportunity for many of you guys to see how other practitioners, especially males, interact spiritually and also ethically with one another. And I think it's just good. I had the garage open, so y'all bugs are in here. I got those cauldrons over there, so y'all just gonna have to kind of bear with me a little bit, but just excited about having the opportunity to interact with him. To all of our moderators, please, sir and ma'am, be on post, because we don't want anybody to interfere in what we're going to be discussing tonight. But universe, when it comes down to me personally, what's up, Mama Susan with the roses? All right there. It is an opportunity. Now, all those that do not know, I am an apostle and pastor of a Christian church. I practice many of the ATRs, and one of those ATRs that I practice is Haitian Voodoo. That's what I actually grew up in. And so therefore, it is just, I love, even when I was talking with Gully, 21 Divisions, people that operate with Catholicism, understanding the saints, and you know, a lot of that has a lot to do with my love for necromancy, my love for spirit, my love for manifestation. I've seen the power of Haitian Voodoo in operation, and so therefore I've also not only have a great love for that particular practice, but I have had a great appreciation because of my own spirit, that my guardian spirit is a Haitian priest himself, protected me all throughout my life. This spirit came with me through birth, followed me into this world, and he has been loyal to me. He has been a part of my magical workings. What's up there? My Tauruses, and to each and every one of you guys, let me tell y'all something. When I say I'm excited about magic and spirituality and just interacting with other men and women of the diaspora, allowing melanated people to have these opportunities to be a part of the discussion, you guys being able to ask certain questions, and this live is really to help people to have a better understanding of not what the movies have portrayed about Haitian Voodoo, or just Voodoo in particular, but Voodoo is a French word for spirit. I don't know how many people continuously to demonize Haitian Voodoo. Loas are no different than Nkisi or Orishas, the same concept. And just like in any ATR, it can be utilized for whatever the practitioner, y'all don't care for the word practitioner, but that's what we got to talk about. However the practitioner chooses to use his not eguns, but their ancestors or their loas or whatever particular loa that works with them. Because I am such I'm a natural born necromancer, Baron Samzi is one of the loas. Also, Saint Lazarus is the Loa that has always been with me, and he's also my father in each one of the religions that I am in. So not only is he my father in Haitian Voodoo, he is also my father in Palo, my father also in Ocha. And so synchronicity, energetic energy. So let me explain my first love. Blessings. What's up there, lady? Thank you so much for being with us on tonight. Now, I'm particularly talking about this particular religion, which is really not there's a physical aspect of the religion of Haitian Voodoo, but I don't ascribe to that, because It's like Christianity. There's a magical side of Christianity, and then there's and what we call a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. There are some people that have the religious aspect of Haitian voodoo. Apostle is now Ealy. Thank you. It is what's up, Aries? Thank you for joining us. But then there's a magical aspect of Haitian voodoo, or voodoo in particular. The reason why Haitian voodoo is distinct and is pronounced as it is because of the Haitian Revolution and how they utilize voodoo, how they utilize that conjure, that energy of the Loas to liberate their island and liberate them from France and what was going on and setting them free from slavery. So all of these things were monumental with Haitian, and then most people that grow up in Haitian type of magic invite as a guest. Hold on. I am trying to invite him. Oh, there he is. Okay. Juju.
What's up?
How we doing? Did you want you can actually go live, and then we can also share stream, so you don't have to necessarily what you would have to do is go live and then send me an invite, and then I can bring you in. Or if you just want to talk through audio, that's up to you. So just let me know how you want to do this, and then we'll move forward from there.
I'll go live.
You'll go live? Okay, well, go live, and then send me the invite, and I'll just bring you on the stream.
All right.
Okay, so he's already ready. Let me tell y'all something. I will always, no matter what I practice, and trust me, any form of magic, trust me, I love. But my first love is because of the things that I've seen the Loas deliver my family members, deliver the healings, the protection. And I would not, to be honest with you, I would not be this far. Minister Mario would not be crowned if it wasn't for Haitian voodoo. If it wasn't for my Loas and my spirits that were already with me, Minister Mario, because of all of the stuff that goes on and the racism and all of that crap that goes on in those traditions, those I know for a fact that we would not have achieved. And so therefore, that's why I will always give proper honor to Haitian voodoo in particular, because that's one of my practices. But the idea of how my healing, my ability to heal people, my ability to break spells, my ability to work with the dead, all of that comes through working with Loas and even though I'm a birthright individual, but a lot of the magic and my spiritual dad very indulged in Haitian voodoo. How we doing, fine sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
First of all, I want to introduce you to my platform. This is Juju from the block.
What's up, y'all?
And like I was telling them earlier, I want to say this, that Haitian voodoo is my first love. I grew up with practice of Haitian voodoo, not so much as the religion of Haitian voodoo, but the actual working with the Mambos and the Hougans and the Bokors. So grew up like that. My spiritual dad took me under his wing at 13 years old. I came up there. I forgot to turn by Do Not Disturb, so y'all gonna have to forgive me. I am not gonna interrupt because I'm just too overwhelmed with it. Because I love voodoo. I've always told people, whether it has been in church, whatever, I've never been ashamed of that, the spiritual aspect of what it is. And so tonight, this platform is going to be talking, I'm going to be kind of like interviewing you with your own personal experience and giving yourself an opportunity to introduce yourself. I want to say this to you as well. I am very proud of you being a man practicing magic. And there's not a lot of us out here. We may go to church, we may go to a practitioner, but to actually yourself indulge and to walk that path in Haitian voodoo or any aspect, but the idea that you're out here and you're servicing people and you represent yourself very well. You speak where I've watched a lot of your videos, so I just like you watch my content, I watch yours. Demure. That's the last one I saw. I think that this is an opportunity for you to like introduce yourself and what it is about your spirituality and what you bring to the table when it comes to this whole thing about the spiritual streets and just your embracement with that particular science, Haitian voodoo.
Okay. So, I've been practicing magic. First of all, I want to say thank you, right? But it is definitely different and a respectable thing being out here as a black man, practicing ATRs and magic and stuff like that. My magic, particularly, I am in the field of like more or less necromancy. I do practice Haitian voodoo, but it's a newer science. It's a newer art to me, right? But my magic lies more like in necromancy and hoodoo, working with the dead, conjuring with all sorts of spirits. I believe in being universal when working with spirits because we have all spirits that are part of our court. So, I believe in working with the angels and with the saints. I believe in working even with God, and Jesus Christ still. You know what I'm saying? I believe it all, and I think it's all important, especially being a black person in America. We're such a conglomerate and mix. We have such a mixture of people and spirits and stuff in our bloodline because of the transatlantic slave trade and stuff like that. I think it's important to be very open to different spiritual practices and different spirits.
Do you think, like with me, I practice various of practices, right? Do you feel that people try to mislabel you because you venture outside of the traditional way of practicing voodoo? Because I think that I like the fact that you understand that other sciences is like, I always use the analogy like a weight room. You go in there, you might work on your chest, and you might work on your arms, your legs. Every science brings something different, but when you per se label yourself just to say, okay, this is my foundation, but then I expand beyond that foundation because I do understand that there's other ways of manifesting, and also because I have a diverse background, it gives me access and no matter what you practice, what allows you to practice because your ancestors indulged in those various type of sciences. So do you find yourself being just boxed in, even though you say you do hoodoo or you may do conjure, the distinction, but do you find that people try to keep you in a box, or do you run across that? Because they always ask me like, who do you practice?
So, man, here's the thing about, I feel like it being black, like trying to venture out and practice the ATRs, is that we're always, not always, but a lot of times we're put in these places of like, because a lot of times black people don't know exactly where our ancestry lies, right? We don't know if we actually came from Africa, or we were some of the native people from this land, or who came from Jamaica or wherever, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times when we go and venture off into these other traditions, we are, I don't want to say we cast aside, but we're looked at in a different way, right? We're not going to be looked at a lot of times as, like, I'm not Haitian. I don't speak Creole. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So a lot of times they put you in a different sector with these spirits. So your magic does develop a little bit differently than traditionally, because you have other things in your bloodline, and you're not where these people are from. I'm not from Haiti. You know what I'm saying? So my magic is going to develop a little bit different. Of course, there's going to be base reglement that you're going to follow.
Right.
But a lot of stuff is going to vary depending on just your spirits and your court and your bloodline and, all of that. So I don't think it leaves you boxed in. I think you just have to find yourself within the box, within that square. You know what I'm saying?
I think that one of the things that I have been afforded to, and I say it's a privilege because I just grew up in the environment that I grew up in. I think it's so important that people understand, because remember that the young lady that went to Haiti and she ended up dying and all of these things. That there's a TLC song out there say stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to, and I think that being clear about where you fit in that genre of magic, because I go up against a Haitian, but I don't speak Creole. You know, my magic is always, when I go to misas, even when I went to get crowned and I went through all the scratch, my Haitian works, my spirits my loas have always had to come first. So it's not, so I understand from your perspective, I understand that you don't have to speak Creole, because even when I'm with my Haitian mambos and stuff, like when I go and talk to her, I have a mambo friend that I talk with. She don't speak to me Creole. She speaks to me in English. But she knows that I'm a part of that community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you have people, because French is not even a native tongue to African people, including Haitian. It is actually from being a slave of France. So you're speaking Creole because you were subdued, and then you got free because of your ancestry or the voodoo, so to speak. So to tell somebody else that they're not practicing Haitian voodoo because they don't speak Creole or French, it's like saying to somebody that doesn't speak Spanish that they can't practice Palo. Because that's not their original tongue. That's not the original language. And I think education, when it comes to understanding that you come from a diverse background that allows you to practice magic and spirituality. But I will say this, and y'all, to all of my Haitian brothers and sisters, so don't get offended with what I'm saying. Haitian people are closed off. If you ain't, it's a family thing. You ain't in they pack, so to speak. I'm trying to find, because in the church where we would call it a clique.
Right.
They ain't telling you nothing. If you don't know, it's not like you can just walk and say, okay, this is in my bloodline, this is what I am. They're not going to freely teach you anything. But like I said, I was privileged in a way that I was raised to practice and did not have to go through those changes. But I also been around them, and I watched them lie to people. I watched them deceive people. I watched them try to ensnare people, even though that was in their bloodline. That individual sitting there, it was in their bloodline. That Loa was there, but they lied because they wanted to keep that from American black people. Because I have Haitian brothers that are like, oh, American black men, American black people mistreated us. And so it's a give back. I'm just being straight up honest. So it's not like it's easy, even if something's in your bloodline, to actually go around Haitian people that practice voodoo, and they're not with open arms.
That's one of the things about being diverse and understanding the different parts of your spiritual practice and what you put actually first. Which the first thing is your ancestors, right? If you line them up right, you're not going to have to worry about if these people are going to be good to me, if this is the right house for me to go to and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's about taking your time and baby stepping your way through this process and not trying to start from A and jump to Z. You know what I'm saying? In 1 year or 2 months or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's really about taking your time and and then your spirits guide you and you won't end up in the wrong places. You know?
Yeah. How has your experience, I'm kind of putting it in front, how has your experience been with the treatment of other interaction with other spiritualists, male or female? Because there are young people out here that are interested in the ATRs, and what would be some, I'm 51, what would be some of the advice that you would offer them, and what would you like to see other elders do for younger people in the practice?
So to be an independent practitioner, right? To be somebody new and independent and looking at all these people you see online and all this stuff you see online, I think that it's important to take things with a grain of salt, right? Like listen to them, respect their opinion, respect their input, but know how to place them also. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to. What I see a lot online is that people will start to put these spiritualists in higher places than where they belong. You know what I'm saying? They start looking at them as if they are God or they are the ultimate authority, when that's not true. When most people are just teaching you from their experience, they're teaching you from what has happened to them or how they work with their energy and the spirits in their food and stuff like that, which in turn might not work for you. You know what I'm saying? Nothing they do. They could be one of the greatest magicians out here, and no spell they tell you might not work for you. You know what I'm saying? And that has nothing to do with your ability as a practitioner or theirs. It's just that how they do stuff don't flow with your energy, right? But I definitely think it's important to, not overindulge on people and what they say. You know what I'm saying? Don't let these other people's opinion about what happens or what can happen and not happen dictate your practice.
As though they're coming across as the authority of that particular tradition or practice.
Absolutely.
Right.
But elders, man, out here, I think we just need more of them. I think we need more real, elders to show themselves. You know what I'm saying? People that's been conjuring I'm talking about elders that's been conjuring for 20, 30 plus years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that'll help. I think that'll help balance out the gap in. Because I see now you have a whole bunch of new spirituals out here, and you have a couple of elders. You're missing the people that's in the middle.
Okay.
And to step us up into the elders, right? And I think we just need to see more of them. I think it needs to be an influx of them come out.
I think that one of the things that I found, I was sheltered in my practice. So, like I said, I always say that because I didn't have to go out and look for anybody. I didn't, so I don't want to come off okay, I would never write a how-to book because my journey is distinctly different than most people. I think that a lot of the elders that I have encountered, and I think it's a two-edged sword because eventually you're going to be an elder, right? And so there's got to be a trust where, and from an elder's perspective, is this person that I'm training going to try to rise up and disrespect me? There's a lot of people that just don't have personal respect for just older people in general without making a spiritual thing. And if you got daddy issues, a mama issue, all of a sudden now, when you get a spiritual mother or a spiritual father, that same level of disregard is still there, even though you're doing spell work, craft, or whatever. And so you can't always feel comfortable sharing certain things with people until you feel that they show you a certain level of loyalty. I don't think it's a certain level of owning people because I don't believe I own anybody. But it's like somebody's having a recipe or a birthright to something or a copyright to something, and you're just saying okay, Michael Jackson, give me your catalog. Or teach me how you do what you do. He's just not fitted, and he don't know you from Adam. You know what I'm saying? Or Whitney Houston, show me how you hit that note. Okay, I know you've been learning from your mother because she tell her history. She's learning from music. I want you to teach me what your mama taught. That's something bold to ask somebody. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Okay, why would I do that for you? You know what I'm saying? But there still needs to be enough information out there if somebody was out there looking.
I feel like you can teach people the basics without telling them your personal way of doing this, right? Your personal style that makes your magic hit, right? Because there's always a baseline of stuff that you can know.
Right.
But, when it goes on a personal level, that's something different. But I think that should be part of the conversation when people are looking for their leaders and their elders and their practices or their next practice or whatever is what is our relationship going to look like, right? Am I going to have to pay you to learn your magic? Am I going, are you even expecting to teach me magic, right? Or are you just going to be a guide to tell me what spirit is saying to me, right? I think people need to have these in-depth conversations when they're looking for leaders, and that'll set a tone and an expectation. Therefore, they won't have to worry about if the person is treating them fairly or not, because they already told me, hey, you want to know that you're going to have to pay me. I'll teach you that you have to pay me, right? So the expectation is already there. And I just think it's important, just like having a relationship with your friends. You have to talk to them about what kind of friends are we? Especially if you're friends with benefits, right? Is this going to relationship?
Exactly. We got set some ground rules. Right. I'm a night owl. Don't come early in the morning on me. Don't do that.
Exactly, right. You know what I'm saying?
One of the things that, and I'm going to ask you this: do you think elders are comfortable having an open conversation? Because what you say makes sense, but do you feel that elders are in a position where you feel comfortable having that level of a conversation? Or because what I want is, especially with black men, and especially with the fact that if somebody is genuinely trying to learn, we all know, because I know you don't ran across people out there BSing.
Yeah.
But there are people that literally want to learn from us, and they really want to have a better relationship. But with men, gay, straight, or bi, ego gets involved. Whose dick is? I don't know if I'm gonna say this right or right, because I'm so used to talking freely on my YouTube channel. So I gotta. Y'all make me work too hard to come up with synonyms. You're so concerned about your ego that you don't transition your relationship into something else. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that everything's about disrespect. I feel like certain elders have a problem. It's almost like the Bible said, Timothy, let no man despise your youth. And I come from an aspect that I grew up very powerful in my conjure, but I was also up on the leadership with my conjure, but I also experienced it with other people where they had a problem with me having what I had at my age. And so I want to know from you that you should be able to have a conversation that you don't feel like you're sharing things with me where I'm stifling your growth, or I may have a personal, it's not that the spirit told me anything, but do you think we elders are in a position where you can be comfortable to even have that conversation? Like, okay, because my padrino told me a couple of days ago, because I wanted to go another way with my Impala. And he's younger than me. My padrino's actually younger than me. And he redirected me, and I follow suit. But I don't have a problem taking instruction. But anybody can't instruct me either.
Right, exactly.
I'm not gonna act like just because you're older or younger. Like, if you know your stuff, I listen. If you got what you got, I listen. But because you're older, you gonna get your feelings hurt. So you know what I'm saying? But I still feel that you, as a younger man, you should feel comfortable, whether you're in my cauldron, I mean not my cauldron, but my Ealy, my coven, my belief system.
Right.
You should still be able to have a conversation with me and a dialogue and to help your process. Do you feel comfortable with the type of elders that are out here to have those conversations, especially the males?
My mambo, yes. But I have a mambo. I don't have an ugan, right? You know, okay, as a gay man, I ain't even gonna lie to you. This is one of the things I had contemplated in my life. Like, what kind of elder did I want for myself? I definitely always wanted a female, because I never wanted to run the risk of having like that other male that I don't want to say alpha male, but that leadership male mentality. Sometimes that y'all are butt heads about stuff,
Right?
And you definitely will feel like you're stifling your growth in certain ways, right? And sometimes that's just that natural testosterone in us that make us do that sometimes, right? So that's why I opted to I wanted a female leader in whatever practice I chose. First of all, because I like motherly love. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing like a black female, that type of love. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely respect that, and I wanted that in my practice. But I've seen a lot of stuff happen with egos in men, that egotistical side of men and elders. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to say the wrong stuff. That's why I keep saying.
You know why? Because I'm gonna tell you why this is important to me. One of the things that I have strived to do is to create an environment for gay, bi, or straight men and women. But I understand that there are less men in these practices. And
Men tend to get caught up. these men so far, like a lot of these elders I've seen, they tend to get caught in scandals a lot. Um, just different scandals, whether it's love scandals, sex scandals. You see that a lot with men in magic. And I done made that my mission to never be caught in that.
You know what it is? I'm gonna say this. With males, and I've been a promiscuous vessel since I knew I had a thigh out.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I understand.
When I see what it can do, I've been on that journey ever since. My mom never thought I was an 18-year-old virgin. I was like, boy, I was like, who? She would talk to this woman. Oh, my son, a brother. I'm like, well, who is this woman? She ain't got but one son. Like, I don't know who she was talking about, but she taught me how to be real sneaky. But my point is this: is that I think that having the ability to not allow your sexual preference to be the garment of interaction. I think that just like if you were at your job, they want to know you can do the job. They don't want to know who you sleep with.
Absolutely.
I think that the black church has been at the root of homophobia, and whether women or men continue to go to church, the influence of those ideas about men being less or more of a man is why those, even your own way of addressing your own spirituality, because honestly, you shouldn't have to feel that way. You shouldn't have to sit there and say, well, that shouldn't be a consideration. Just like as a parent shouldn't have to sit down and tell their child, male or female, that, okay, when you go out in this real world, you can get shot for that. It's an unfair conversation because that's a child, but you got to make them aware of the mindset of people outside of the home. So that to me is no different than you having to make a decision about who you interact with spiritually based on not wanting to get into those altercations or even be that it becomes a factor. Because your gift is your gift.
Absolutely.
What I want black men to understand, you are a man, period. And I want you to understand that just like you had no control over your pigmentation, you had no control over your genealogies. Like when you go through the ceremonies, you don't control what ancestors show up. That is just in your bloodline. To embrace that has a lot to do with a man feeling, and I want you to understand this. Men that do that are insecure with themselves. So like if you don't believe in abortion, you don't have to have an abortion. And I don't know how men get involved in abortion because you're not affected by an abortion. A woman is. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want nobody, you don't want a male digging in you or licking on you, then don't do it.
Then don't do it. That's it.
It's a period. You know what I'm saying? You don't eat Chinese rice food, then what you sitting there at the rice hut?
Thanks for right.
What you ordering it at the midnight hour? You know what I'm saying? My point is, it's a personal thing that the individual is going through, and I think that men, on whatever spectrum, take it just like women personal. If a man cheats on a woman, she takes it personal. It's something that she did or did not do while he cheated. No, he cheated because he's a cheater. A man that disrespects another man has nothing to do with what that man does or does not do. It's because he's a disrespectful man. You know what I'm saying? This is my experiences. Loas, do not care who you sleep with. Or Risa do not care who you sleep with. God don't care who you sleep with. Your ancestors apparently don't care who you sleep with because some of them get down themselves. So who made that an issue? Man did. And so therefore when you hear people out here on the platform talking about patriarchy, the first homosexual act that ever took place was by women. Because there were not men here. There were women. Women were first. Men came later. So women created all of this stuff. And so therefore, the only reason why me and you are males is because that testosterone kicked in, and then we got, instead of a clitoris, we got a penis. Instead of a breast, we got a chest.
Mm-hmm.
But so we carry both of those energies at all times, whether you male, female, gay, straight, or bi. We all have them, especially melanated people. The black woman is the only creature on planet Earth that has the E gene. So your practice in voodoo, addressing your spirituality, has nothing. Christianity has weaponized teachings against black men since the inception of the United States and racism. And I feel like the level of mental and emotional damage that has taken place, it's no different than if a man is a straight man, he's still considered in America less than human as a black man. In the average white man's eyes that's living on the street, President Barack Obama is SHIT.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's a lawyer, done been a president, that's psychological. It is no different than now all of a sudden, because of a preference that you have no control over, it is just what it is. Just like if you like strawberry ice cream, you just like strawberry ice cream. Those are your taste buds. You see what I'm saying? I don't particularly like spicy food or hot food, but every now and then I find myself with something hot in my mouth. So, but it ain't a preference of mine. My thing to you is, when you think about how much of a factor do you think that was in your decision making, or is it still a factor in your decision making?
As far as like
sexuality, do you still at this point still feel that way, or are you
no.
open?
No. I don't feel that way at all. I actually had a lot of most of my teachers, most of the people that I have been with or have kind of guided me through my process before I got initiated were homosexual.
Right.
Whether man or woman. You know what I'm saying? I actually think that homosexual people have more room spiritually than just heterosexual people do. I think they're accepted by more spirits. You know what I'm saying? Like, even by female spirits, when you want to be possessed by them, a lot of them favor homosexuals because of their, especially a lot of men, because they're what you call it when they get their nails done and stuff like that.
Well, they operate on both sides of the hemisphere.
Yeah, they're more metrosexual, right?
Right.
So a lot of female spirits favor them. You know what I'm saying? So I think it has its advantages spiritually being homosexual. So it never really was a hindrance for me. Hell, when I first started magic, I actually wanted a homosexual teacher because I wanted somebody who would understand me. I wanted another homosexual black male because I wanted people who would understand me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody
You didn't want that to be on the table. You wanted that to be off the table.
I wanted it on the table.
When they interacted with you, you did not want that to be an issue, period.
No, I mean, I wanted them to be understanding of what it's like to be a homosexual black man.
Okay.
I didn't want our sexuality to play a part in my growth, though, with them. You see what I'm saying? I didn't want to have a sexual relationship with them. I just wanted them to be able to understand a homosexual black man's point of view of spirituality and stuff like that.
Interacting in this
Right. I think it's important though to find people that are like you. You know, your spiritual journey. It helps. You know, it helps in all aspects of life.
I think that you are very brave in the sense of, in spite of choosing that particular viewpoint, I watch in the conversation, I watch your video, you have broadened your horizon. A lot of times when it's almost like somebody that has been raped or molested, they get trapped in that experience and they go no further than that. Some people, they turn it into a mission. You know what I'm saying? I think that a lot of things that you said that straight men or patriarchal believing people, because you have gay people and bisexual people that still believe patriarchal. And they're just as male chauvinist and just as full of racism and bigotry than a straight individual. Sometimes they are actually worse. What I understand from my experiences is energy is what it is, and being crowned my Fedi Fun Oya. I remember my madrina, she was telling me, because we were going through the Palo thing, and she was like, Minister Mario was there, my other spiritual sisters were there, and it's like everybody else has a male spirit. You're the only one that has a female spirit, right? But the way she said it, as though I had a lesser spirit because everybody else's spirits were male, when I was the strongest spirit in the room. You know what I'm saying? But I recognized that, even though I did not say anything to her, but when males carry feminine energy, even though I have a lot of masculine energy, my powers actually come from a woman. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times people are not comfortable with that, because my particular setup, even in Haitian voodoo, is matriarchal, even though I'm a male. And that's why I like the movie Charm with, Piper end up having Wyatt. That I like totally register with that. Like my grandmother, my mom, and then make them me. You know what I'm saying? And so I also, to be honest with you, I also chose a church, and the type of church that I chose, because I thought apostolic church and Pentecostal church were operating in the gifts of the Spirit and stuff like that. And I actually embraced that because I thought they would accept me. And actually it was the total opposite. They were trying so busy to disassociate the, we don't do no voodoo here, we ain't doing that witchcraft stuff here. But they were literally doing, they were drawing grades, they were doing all like, I know this, like I grew up with this, you know what I'm saying? Like this is why I actually came to your church. You know what I'm saying? Like I would not be sitting in your church if you was not, she was operating so much out of the 6 and 7 books of Moses, like literally. Right. And in the elements and like prophesying to the 4 winds. And I'm like, this all like, hey, right here. That's like, this is where I need to be. But I didn't realize that they didn't even see themselves in that light.
They think because they use the name of Jesus that they doing something different.
And they absolutely are doing. And I actually literally, the guy did not come, he's Haitian. And he came to the church, the same church, right? But he was talking to my mom, and he's like, he literally talking about this pastor, right? He said, if I wanted to see voodoo, I could see that at home. He literally said she was practicing voodoo, even though she said she will operate up on the power. Like, I wasn't the only, I saw what I saw, but here's somebody that's actually out of Port-au-Prince, Haiti, that's Haitian, speak Creole. When he walked in your church, he saw voodoo. Just like I did. I just don't speak Creole. You know what I'm saying? So it's like black people have a gift, Juju, to disassociate. It's like a mother, because of who her son or daughter is, can disassociate. Oh, that ain't my child. Like, how do you do that? Or we can do that with family members. Oh, that's not my auntie. You can disagree with somebody all day long or not respect their choice, but you still are connected. Black people have a gift about disassociating ourselves because of a like or dislike, like nobody else. How did you come up with the name Juju? Was that something how did that relate to you coming with that personality to social media?
Because that's all I was practicing at the time. That's all I was immersed in Juju. You walk into the house, Juju. Juju here, Juju there, Juju everywhere. So I was like,
he sound like Oprah, like, you get a call. No, you get Juju. You get
call,
Juju.
Right. You want some Juju? Everybody gets some. That was pretty much it. Like, I was just immersed. And at that time, all I saw was magic, and all I could think of was magic. So, magic was home. So Juju from the block,
Magic from all right. Some poetry behind that.
You know.
So do you think that because when I look at, to me, everything is energy. That's why I always teach about universal laws. My thing to you, as a young man in magic, and what about magic? Because like magic, that's like people say, "Oh, I'm gonna do conjure." They don't realize how that's not a specific. That is like there's no depth to this, right? What is it about juju? What it is about magic? What aspect of it that what's your drawing thing? Like what is your thing?
Your
Like,
magic.
yeah, I love the fight. So I love the warfare part.
I don't care too much for warfare. I mean, I ain't scared of it, but I just don't like. I don't like having to do all the cleaning and stuff behind it. I don't be having time for all that.
Yeah.
But I love doing like love and lust magic. Those are my things. That's some of my fortes. Like in
Love and lust.
Oh yes, I love doing lust stuff. I think that's one of the funnest magics to do because normally both people want this thing. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to free that up and make that happen for people, that's fun to me. I love doing money magic. I'm really good with that. Like I had a lot of jobs where I was working retail or I was like in some kind of gift exchange type of way where people had to pay me for stuff or give me money after doing something. So I learned a lot about how to move money in places and how the spirits of places work with money. And like if you're working in retail and how to use the spirits of the land to get you things and make people come to you in those places. Healing is becoming a thing for me. Healing.
I want to get back to the lust because the lust and the love, not because it's a distinction. Okay. I do conjure, all right. I don't particularly do. I do love spell, but I know there's a distinction because what is because it is. I think that people don't understand like when you doing certain work scene where it has lust is that you want sex, you want to interact with that person on a physical thing. Love would be more like, I mean, how do you make those distinctions? If I come to you and I say, you know what, I want to fuck this guy, I want to fuck this girl, I want to fuck this animal. Oh, I don't know if I can say this. Also, you guys have to bear with me because I'm normally on YouTube, so I have a lot of freedom of talking. So,
so my
what would be your distinction? What would be your distinction?
To me, love cannot be created. Right, that's not something you can create with a magic spell, right? Okay. You can make people, maybe make yourself more noticeable to them, make them more infatuated with you. But I don't feel like there's no spell you can do that actually creates love out of somebody, right? I think you can sweeten people, but love is not something that you can really make. You know, you can make them like you more or favor you more, and then you can do physical things to create love with that person, but you can't actually get love out of a candle. That's just not gonna help. Even self-love, it doesn't come out of a candle. You know, you can light candles to spirits and they can guide you through things to help you understand what you need to love about yourself,
right?
But you can't just make you love yourself. There's no candle just for that, right? So typically what most people want when you're talking about like love and lust stuff is domination work, and lust is that domination work, right? Lust is making people have these feelings for you that they can't even explain. You know what I'm saying? It's not even necessarily
come out the flashes.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not even about necessarily always having sex with people. Always having sex with people. Sometimes you need them just to favor you or want to love you. You know what? I was thinking about this the other day is that you can't even help how people love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever?
That's a real statement. Say that. Repeat that again. You can't. Go ahead. Say that again.
You can't help how people love you.
Right.
You know. So always asking for love out of people ain't even what you want. Like, have you ever had somebody that I used to know somebody that they partners that the person that he was actually supposed to be in love with, they treated them horribly, but all of their friends they treated them like gold. So why would you want to get love out of that person instead of just for them to like you a lot and be like a friend? You'll get more out of it from them feeling you like a friend than they do actually loving you. You know what I mean? I don't think love is always the go-to.
like with me, I actually carry. We all have a sex spirit, but like Mother Susan like to say that she says, Apostle, you got a sexual anointing, right? So cause I got a lot of Scorpio in my chart, so I exude sex. But I have noticed that my working will be very different because I carry such a sexual energy that's androgynous that allows me to work both sides.
Right.
I think that what people don't understand is as long as you don't get confused that you at Disney World. As long as you don't think Mickey Mouse is real.
Right.
Have your fun. Long as you don't think Daffy Duck is, or, you know what I'm saying? Like those are basically those are fantasies, or there are parts of you that you're expressing or walking down a path. Because sometimes when you walk down a path, you don't know how far you're gonna go down that path. You know what I'm saying? And this is another thing that I don't like. Is that because some man or woman decides to be openly about their sexuality, all of a sudden everybody tries to make like that person want them. When the people around you don't want you, like that's how real this is. It's like because it still plays into a phobia. All of a sudden, because you are attracted to the same gender, all of a sudden now you want the supervisor or you want this person or whoever you're interacting with, and that is as far from the truth as it would be for any other heterosexual and that's what I mean by magic when it comes to lust. You can do magic for a straight person, a bi person, or a gay person. Just because you say that your preference is same sex does not mean magically, energetically, that you couldn't put a man and woman together that wanted to be together.
Yeah, your sexual preference has nothing to do with that.
But I want that distinction.
Yeah,
because I think it just is asinine as somebody feeling that because you have a preference. Because even in your preference of same sex, you still got a type. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like how all of a sudden now, because you know I like ice cream, that I'm just like every ice cream that best.
You want all right. Give me butter pecan.
You just throwing stuff at, like, come on, like I want us to have a real coming together, a real talk where when you're interacting with somebody, that it doesn't, you're not stepping out here as less than your person. That what you can do or what you can't do has to do with your ancestry. It has nothing to do with your preferences. What you are limited to has to do with your openness of mind. But do not degrade or devalue what I have the capacity to bring into the community because of a preference. I just feel like black men shouldn't have to lead with their sexuality. That's my personal opinion. I feel like
be a question. If you got spiritual problems in your life and you worried about my sexuality, you're supposed to be worried about if I can fix your problems or not. My sexuality don't matter. How can
and I would like to say this: he don't want your man because he already for you. He already know your man trans, so he's not looking for the problems either. I think because a lot of people have things that in their head, and they have their own. Because a lot of things, in my opinion, especially when it comes to sex with black people and black men in general,
it's almost taboo in a way.
It's too much stuff unsaid. You're not more of a man because you sleep with a woman. Actually, talk to the women you sleep with; they think you less than a man. Most of them. I think that ego plays a lot into our magical practices, and until we start loving our brothers and our sisters correctly, and not picking and choosing, because I don't want to be perceived to be of the same feather. See, I personally don't care,
Mhm.
but that's because of my raising.
Right.
But I know a lot of people care. I know a lot of people have told gay men that they couldn't practice certain traditions, and it wasn't the truth.
You know, you hear that a lot. And that was one of the decisions that actually made me go into Haitian voodoo because I didn't want I chose a practice that was more acceptable. Out of the options that I had through my ancestry, right? I just chose the one that I felt like was more accepting because some of them are like they're really bad about telling you you can only do so much as a gay person. If you are like, is that you saying that or is that spirit saying that?
No, I'm telling you, from somebody been doing magic since I was a child. I'm 51 years of age.
I'm speaking hypothetically. I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
like,
but
yeah.
that's when you get people. It's no different than cultural appropriation. When you get somebody that actually gets initiated and has been in a practice, all of a sudden they're implementing their ideas and their personal prejudice on the practice. It is no different than you can go from one church to the next, depending on the culture of that church. Everyone I'm preaching about Jesus, but it's teaching about that same Jesus totally different. Like people, when I'm up teaching, they're like I'm talking about a different Jesus. When I'm reading out the same Bible you do, my perception about that Yahshua, that my perception about what he said. You know what I'm saying? There's scriptures in that Bible like Jonathan and David. There's parts in that Bible when it talks about there were two men laying in the bed. One was taken, one wasn't. We skim over all of that. It's in there.
The Song of Solomon.
It's right there.
It's all kind of stuff in there about two men.
There's things in that Bible that has nothing to do with the actual word of homosexuality. There's nowhere. And then the only part that it said that a man shouldn't lay with a man, it was actually a mistranslation intentionally. When it was really about men laying with children.
Right.
Because a lot of black people do not know they educated and they interested in education and really finding out that a lot of these translations were deliberately translated incorrectly so that somebody can promote their agenda.
Their agenda,
Yeah, and so this is what I would ask. How important is it for you to feel comfortable, not only in your practice, but do you think you are being treated fairly when you are announcing and openly saying certain things about yourself? Do you think that people handle you differently, or do you think people handle you? Look at my sister.
I think.
Do you think that people are handling you correctly as a person, or do you think they take into account?
I don't think it matters, man, to be honest, as much from what I have seen. Because again, like the people that have helped me grow, they have been very LGBTQ friendly, or have been, part of that community themselves, right? So, and they have been in higher positions. I've only when I go to other spiritualists, I go to somebody higher than me. I know somebody that's been practicing longer than I have. They can see farther than I can, and you know what I'm saying. They got their shit together more than I do. And these people I have not had any problems with them. But I do know some Babalawos, and I do know some other practitioners that I have met that are completely misogynistic. They will look at you as less than and treat you differently for being gay. But I have not had that experience because they have not. I'm very strict about going to my ancestors for guidance and letting them guide me to the people that I need to come in contact with. And people
really, I think this is why you are as successful in your practice. And I have said this oftentimes to people. Do not overlook your ancestors. Take care of your Egon. Take care of your Moreto, because they have a vested interest in your success.
Absolutely. And they would not let you go around the wrong people if you asked them.
Or they would disrupt something if that person does not mean you well. And what I was hoping and what I got tonight, I'm pleased because I wanted you an opportunity as a man practicing magic to share the reality of how encounter. I myself have to deal with diversity of people always. And so one of the things that I want to do that I feel like I would ask you, what could people in my, especially in the church world, because that's where I really sit, even though I practice the ATR.
Right.
What could we do besides saying we sorry? What do you think that black pastors, apostles, teachers, whether you go to church or you don't go to, it's irrelevant. But the church has done a lot of damage. What do you think, coming from your experience and your perception, what we could do to make this is an environment for growth? I don't, because I'm very against people being tolerated.
Absolutely.
I'm very, very against that. I don't think that you have to be to sit in an environment somebody's tolerating you is just as unhealthy as somebody not liking you.
That's how I was feeling.
Yeah, it's still not a good energy. So what do you think that black pastors, male or female, could do to create an environment for growth? Because what I don't touch off on is children. When I say it, because I feel like whatever's going on with a child, that's their parent. But when you deal with grown people that are in spirituality and they're taking their personal opinion or preferences and imposing them on other people in the church, especially the black church.
That's it right there. That's what I think need to change. They need to teach the truth. You know what I'm saying? Stop teaching opinions and personal feelings and teach the actual truth of whatever religion that you're working with, whether it's Christianity or not. Like one thing about the church is that, you know, a lot of pastors, they go through seminary school. They have degrees in theology and stuff like that. So they understand the truth of this book. They understand where it actually comes from. They understand the things that were actually changed in here. So instead of them teaching what people want to hear or what they've been taught their whole life, they should actually teach what the book says. And that would eliminate a ton of problems that is stopping the growth of the church. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna ask you this: do you think that pastors are preaching that type of doctrine and teaching because they believe that the congregation wants to hear that? It's almost like the genre of music. Are people rapping about these particular lyrics, not so because they believe in these lyrics, but because that's what the people want to hear?
You know how people. You ever met somebody that lies so much they start to believe they own lies?
I
think that's what has happened.
Lie for no reason.
Right, they've told these same stories so much to where they started to believe them. So now they can't even separate the truth from what they believe. You know what I'm saying? I think they just need to start teaching back out of the book. Start teaching what the actual book says. Stop trying to have all these over spiritual interpretations about these words and preach what the word actually says it means. You know, learn what was changed in the book to hold us back, to enslave us, and to make us demonize and criticize our own selves, and eliminate it. Teach who God really is and what God really is versus what you want him to be.
One of the things that I have tried to offer to, because I have people that practice the ATRs, Juju, that do not ain't never been to church, and a lot of times on the platform they're being attacked by Christians about their practices and demonic and the devil weaponizing the same tools that was afforded from slavery to minimize, to devalue. One of the things that I try to offer people is knowledge about where things come from.
Right.
Where those scriptures and how they are supposed to be in context, and how a lot of people take those things out of context. Now, I am going to say this, and I don't care how many black men don't like this. Your obsession with homosexuality is an internalized thing.
Absolutely.
Internalized structure. The mere fact that you getting hard in the pulpit because Deacon Earl came in there with that shirt, They ain't got nothing to do with Deacon Earl. Them your feelings, Deacon Earl don't even know you sitting on there with a heart on. It wasn't Sister Sally that got you aroused. Like, I'm just being straight up with you. It's like when you ain't working on you, the next thing you do is attack other people. And because now you have this megaphone called the pulpit, I feel like a lot of men don't know how to deal with their insecurities, whatever that may be. And so therefore, like anything, if you don't have tools or different places where you can talk about this, because I was fortunate enough to come up around my aunties and my uncle. I never heard about the birds and the bees. They said what it was. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
So I came up in them kind of conversations. So I didn't have, I didn't know about, they didn't call it a tallywhacker. They call it what it is. So what I mean by that is women typically, don't matter their sexual preferences, they're always talking about their body. They're always they're having those type of personal conversations, right? Men don't have if they have it, they don't have a lot of spaces where they can have those conversations. I'm gonna take that back. Honest conversation, because a lot of time when men have a conversation, the BS for the start.
Yeah.
The BS for the start. It's like, oh no, I ain't never did that a lot. Like women like, oh, I let that man screw me in the ass and I ain't gonna do that no more and they be like, help, women, we sitting there like, I used to listen to my auntie. Like I used to hear everything. People talk about this man like he had these big old nuts and they were hitting him behind me. Like I grew up like that. So when I talk to my kids, I'm very, somebody would say vulgar, but I tell it like it is. And so my thing is, if there were more platforms or places where real conversation could be had without it being perverted. Yeah. Okay. Kind of like the scenarios where they were talking about the Eddie Long, because I can't speak on that because I really don't know. But if a young man is coming to you and having those conversations, you should turn that sexual. Just no different, like you were saying, I wanted a homosexual elder or leader, but I didn't want to have a sexual relationship with them. If somebody comes to me, I have to take myself out of the situation and allow me to be what I need to be to them without me perverting that information. Because I feel like once you give that information, now you can be targeted. And there's a leverage thing.
There's a lot of that, though, to me, is the discretion of the person in charge, the leadership person, right? What is he talking about? Verify.
Yeah, they did it on mine over there.
Okay. A lot of it has to do with, I think, the morals and the character of the leader, right? Can you take yourself out of place of your sexuality and put yourself in a place of a leader and actually help them with their problem versus trying to capitalize on the situation, capitalize on their vulnerability. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of men struggle with that. And I think it's because what you say is because they don't have enough spaces to confront their sexuality. They don't have enough time to develop their sexuality, their self in their sexuality, no matter what it is, to say, hey, I've had these experiences in life. I know how to separate this side of my life from that side of my life. Right? It's time for play and it's time for business. Right? I think that we definitely need some kind of exposure for that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they can have a safe place where they can, actually talk to somebody.
Like with me, I say this. I have been able to keep it, and I ain't telling nobody to do it because I was holy. So I never needed the church as a door. I never used that. My uncles were buying tail, and so I had a plethora of things. So my thing is, I never needed that to hide behind. I never needed that as a shield. And so I think that's why I come across the way that I come across. If I want to do something, my thing is like, who gonna stop me? Like, who gonna whip my ass? I'll be like looking around like, who gonna whip? Like, what you gonna do? But everybody don't have that. But I think that it's still important that somebody has a place where if they want to have that conversation, if they trust you to have that conversation magically. Not religiously, magically, because they're trying to grow into Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, whatever, ATR, but they want that not to be an issue of how you handle them, treat them, or lie to them and tell them they don't have access to things that they actually have access to because you yourself have an issue or an attraction. And so I use my platform because I work behind the scenes a lot of times, and I know a lot of these Negroes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I want to hear from you when you address your community and when you're out here making your way. You should still feel the support of men. Like when I get men that join my platform, I get excited. I love that. Because I predominantly have female. Y'all know I love you. Okay? But I do get excited when I'm able to interact with other men without the ego. And so I felt like this was really, really important that you come here and have an opportunity to express yourself, express your spirituality, concerns, because in order for us to, I'm a problem solver. When you get real with me, then I can go and brainstorm and say, okay, Juju had a point. You had a lot of good points tonight. So I'm like, okay, because my platform is the church.
Right.
And whether somebody walk in church ever again is irrelevant. The fact that healing needs to take place, the mere fact that people are still being damaged by those doctrines and teachings to this very day, that it has to be addressed. But it has to be addressed by somebody that has that type of platform.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can speak from where you're coming from, but I have a platform that brought a lot of that condemnation and men like you making those choices because of how the church has influenced society. And so therefore you have to deal with BS that you really shouldn't have to deal with. It don't matter what your practice is. As long as you're doing your job and you are out here representing your egoons and your spirits the way you're supposed to do, that's all that should matter. But we know it plays a part is when you try to step in certain areas in the ATRs, all of a sudden they close a door. Not God. They close that door. So I just think that this was, because I hear a lot of comments and they're like, this is so needed. And, you know, I want to say this. I'm trying to clean this up. A safe space is not a F place.
Oh, not at all.
Okay? Because you're ensnaring people. If they're coming to a safe space, it needs to be safe.
Absolutely.
So if you got to put a chastity belt on or a butt plug, whatever you got to do, take care of your business before you come. Don't bring that there, because men need to be just as safe as a woman needs to be safe. In initiations into ATR, that man needs to be safe around other men or women, just like a woman needs to be safe around other men and women. And that should not be crossing.
Never.
Even though a person can have an attraction, because I think that attraction is very natural.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like you look at a car and say, damn, I really like that car, even though you drive a nice car. You can be in a nice space and still, attraction is not where the problem is. It's crossing that line. It's stepping beyond the permission of another individual.
Or even going across that line with their permission. You know, I had people come to me and ask me for like baths and stuff like that. And at the end of their conversation, it is, or a day later, it is, are you going to bathe me with it? No, fool, that's not what we doing here.
No, you're not getting a happy ending out there. We got facilities for that. We got massage parlors for that.
No, we're not doing that. Either you want the spiritual healing and elevation or not. And I'm fine either way, you know, because it ain't me, it's you. You the one who need it. I don't, you know.
I think that's a good point, because I said it on the other side of it. Like, people always want to talk about elders messing with people, but people literally come to us trying to create a sexual hiding behind, I need help, I need healing, I need this and that, to get to that space, pinned off, and then try to make something happen. Which that is also unfair, but it's not as talked about as much as the other aspect of.
Right, as it is the other way around. But it happens in other people areas.
Which I think is a really good point. Is if you guys are looking for happy endings, as a pastor and a preacher, I know plenty of places y'all can go.
Right.
What you looking for, okay? Don't ask me how I know, just know that I know. Okay? But my point is, if we are grown and adult people, do not mix and mingle. That hard. Because it complicates those situations. Just like two friends having sex. It changes the relationship. It's no way that the relationship is going to be the same. It could still be a relationship, but it's not the same. Once you involve sex in any relationship, it changes. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like we should be grown enough to have an attraction or admiration and stay where we are.
Just leave it at that.
Right. Then to try to act or implement or to create situations trying to get beyond that attraction or admiration. And that's just personal character. That has nothing to do with the practices. That has nothing to do with the sciences or the magical things about it. I think that the way that you taught tonight actually helped a lot of people on my end to have better understanding, and other males because I have diverse types of men in my church, and I just don't believe that black men should continuously to be tolerated, and I don't think that black men should have to lead just like a white man. And I mean this, a white man never has to fight for his manhood. Black men their manhood is always on the line. You are who you are, period. Not a comma, not a semicolon. And that's something that needs to reinforced in young men, whatever direction they go. And it needs to be reinforced in fathers to teach that and establish that. Because when you get out into this world, if that white man can walk down the road after having 14 inches of dildo in him and being run through and still be called a man, it's the truth. But at no time, it's his manhood. They still call Caitlyn Jenner father, still having Father's Day. Because their manhood, no matter how far they go down that road, their manhood is never in question.
Their femininity is never in question.
A black man, no matter whether he's masculine or feminine or both, is always on the line. And we have to work on that because we also add to that madness. And then when we get mad with one another, we use those same slurs, we use those same statements to reinforce those narratives. So that's why I think it's really, really important. I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to even do this live with you. I know that my platform just really appreciate you guys. If you have not followed him on TikTok. I don't know if you have a YouTube. If anybody's seeking your spiritual services, go ahead.
Just message me on here, or you can go to my Etsy, but just message me on here or Instagram or somewhere, and I'll get back to you.
What is it that you say that you love doing? Love work, loves work, and you money work. So those are your
Those are my fortes, right? Those are things that I'm just naturally attracted to, right? Just because of how my life has evolved and why I even got into magic. But just so a little more background, though. So I started my magical practice. I really got into it because I was living in the underworld, right? Okay. I was living in, the street pharmaceuticalist type life, and you
were like my people then. Okay,
right?
You were elite for pharmaceutical. Okay,
absolutely.
Like
how to protect myself and work with from the police with spying eyes, and how to bring in money from a very traditional but maybe unethical kind of standpoint. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That was the start of it, and then it just progressed from there to being more involved with my ancestors and wanting to become something more for my bloodline. Right. So now I dive into more elevation type practice, and I like working with. I love approaching magic from an spiritismo standpoint,
Okay.
like elevation of spirits, right? Helping them become lighter to help our life become lighter and help us see our life. You know.
Okay.
So I go out through the magical field. You know, whatever you need, I can do it.
Okay. That is to be respected. I really want to say, and to my platform and to each and every one of you guys that are viewing, this is just the beginning of the things that allow Black men to heal, sharing knowledge, interaction, and instead of sword fighting, so to speak, in the public, more of this needs to be done, and feeling comfortable about where you are and then growing to a greater space. And so I wanted to reach out to you. I actually reached out to him and asked him, will he do this? And I really appreciate you saying yes. Some people think I'm crazy.
I
want to show this off though. I just got this in. My illegal hat. Sorry, y'all. But I just got this in. I got my hat for my illegal hat for my church. Cause all of my reachers are at the church. And I just got this hat in to go on my shrine. So I want to show this off. But I just want to also just thank you for I hope I made you feel comfortable. I hope you had a good experience because this is important, and I hope that this is not our last time. But I am looking to interact with other spiritualists, not just social media, but I have a lot of projects that I'm going to be going into, and so therefore I watch your track record of how you interact and how you teach, and so it's enough work for all of us. So I really don't have issues of that nature. And so therefore, I just appreciate you not only acknowledging my message to you, but actually coming on here and being open and sharing. And so it just has made this a very, very good live for melanated people, and just understanding androgynous energy, understanding homosexual energy, understanding energy, period. And I still would say, guys and girls, stop leading with your sexuality. I joke a lot. I talk a lot of trash. Don't get me wrong. I'll pull male spine and female spine. But I want us to understand, don't let somebody make that your cover. Because they're going to weaponize that to try to hinder you economically, and when it comes down to doors opening. And at the end of the day, you're there to do a work. And if you have a gift, a talent, it gives you the ability to do that. It has nothing to do with your preferences. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some people are cute but not smart. Some people are fine but they ain't good in the bedroom. So it's about the energy. And I think that if we keep it there, we can get the proper respect that is due to every man and woman, and these especially melanated people. We done suffered enough in this country. We have to turn this around. And it's going to take action. We don't do enough talking and marching. We have to, especially us in authority, and especially with resources, especially us in that position, we need to take the initiative and let these younger people and other people that may not have as much clout or influence have an opportunity to tell us what they're watching and how they feel about it. I'm a type of person, I have 3 sons, and we have had some conversations, like grown conversation. They are able to tell me stuff that they didn't approve. Like, I gave them space. Like, it's not disrespectful, but hey, I didn't agree with that, Dad. Or you went to, and those, you need to have men where you can have those conversations with and still walk away with respect. And you know what I'm saying? And say, you know what, Pastor Ealy, I respect you and all that, but that ain't for me. I'm not going that direction. And we still come next there and make some money together.
Right, absolutely.
Our disagreement does not leave us penniless. Let's make our change. We got to stop getting in our feelings and let's build. And so, thank you so much. Chris said, that's right. I thank you so much for giving us the opportunity. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I hope that everybody that got a chance to listen to this, I will be posting it on my YouTube channel. And so once again, if you are not following Juju from the block, follow him. If he's already told you his services and what he offers. And thank you so much, my brother. And thank you so much for your honesty, because I love transparency. I love honesty, and I wanted this more be about you than myself. So thank you so much once again. I appreciate that.
Thank you
All
for
right,
having me.
y'all. Don't forget to hit likes on both of these streams and the gift. Keep it going. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Once again, thank you to all of our viewers on both sides of this live, and to each and every one of you guys. This is only the beginning for melanated people. I'm a man of my word, and I try to strive to be sincere about what I do, so people feel comfortable interacting with me. Okay? Thank you so much, Juju.
Thank you, Apostle.
I got it. All right.